All right, fair use disclaimer. It's your brother Wild Rummy back in another lesson, Lord, willing to be edifying. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Waha, Rakah, Quadash, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 men of the Lord. You see on the highways and byways prophesying in the name and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Waha, Rakah, Quadash. Also in the correct doctrine. I want to send a shalom to the 1/3. Men, women, and children that will escape the judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahweh by their faith. And also I want to say shalom to the 144,000 men of the Lord you see on the highways and byways, prophesying in the name and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh. Like I said, in the same doctrine as well. And I might have resaid it, but I was distracted. So it don't matter. Thing is, I want to get into this lesson, man. Men are the prize, man. And men will have multiple wives, man. I don't know why it's a big thing where it shouldn't be that way, or it's a hard topic. It's just because we've been in the West so long that the mindset that we should have is in these scriptures, man. And it is lawful for a man to have more than one wife. Now you have Israelite groups, mainly IUIC, push that you don't supposed to have nothing but one wife, and that's basically a Christian doctrine that they're pushing, and that's for likes and views to appease or please women, because they can't see what we see through the spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah, in the way the Lord had this thing set up. And then the scripture tell you about a woman being jealous of another woman. But we're going to get right into it, because the mindset of the world of Esau is coming down, man. And I ain't saying everyone, but a lot of these Israelite women are waking up to the fact that the Israelite man is the prize here in Babylon the Great. So let's get right into it, man.
Men are the prize. Now, this is probably going to be the most pick-me shit I've ever said in my life. But I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know that men are the prize. Men are the prize. Now, when I'm talking about men, I'm speaking about black men in the United States. Let's do some math. The real math, not that girl shit y'all be doing. Black women make up 7% of the U.S. population. Black men make up 6.5% of the population. You see how that's already less? All right, let's go a little bit deeper. Out of that 6.5% of men, 2.8% of those men are incarcerated. So that leaves you roughly, 3.7% of men to choose from. Oh, but wait, some of those men suck dick. So you have about 0.18% of those men. So what does that leave you with? 3.52% to your 6.98% women. Supply and demand, bitch. You are not the fucking prize. The men are the prize, because it's less of them and more of us. The shit is fucking simple.
And that's true, man. It's simple. And the reason why Esau demonizes is because we will be fruitful and multiply here and overrun him. And that's the reason why he wants to create this system where it's remigration. You can look that up. You can Google it. This is what Esau is doing right now, because he knows that his population is diminishing and ours is increasing. And I'm talking about the Israelites, the 12 tribes. Just like Japan, they don't have enough people over there to even occupy their houses, man. They're wanting Jake to come over there and populate their women, populate with their women. But women are meant to be a possession. They are meant to be a servant to their man. And as you continue on, man, these videos, these women are putting up knowing that they are to be servants under the Israelite man. But check this out.
A man is supposed to have more than one woman. You gotta just get over it. So I just had a 30-minute conversation with an Igbo man, if you know what that is. That's an Igbo Nigerian man, at the fucking car wash for over 30 minutes of him convincing me why men need more than one woman. 30 minutes. Mind you, he's in sales, which means he can convince people to say yes even when they want to say no. You gotta. That's why you always gotta ask people, "What do you do?" So when you know they in sales, you know that them motherfuckers is trying to manipulate you into getting you to do what they want to do. First of all, salesperson. But I mean, he made good points. He made really good points, actually. He said, he was like, if I give you 20% and somebody else is giving me 20% and somebody else is giving me 20%, that's 60%. Why do I have to give you 100% when maybe you don't make me happy 100%, but you only make me happy 20%? So I should give you the whole 20 back and invest in that 20%, and we make each other happy. And I was just thinking, you know what? He right. And see, that's when the sale kicked. I said, you know what? You are a great salesperson. He said, why do you say that? I said, because you damn near convinced me. You damn near convinced me that man is supposed to have more than one damn woman.
It's no convincing. It makes sense. And that he's not even in the truth. He just speaking on a logical sense. And she said it almost convinced her. Now these are women putting up these videos on their own, man. Ain't nobody's coercing them to do this. They're starting to see the big picture, man. And that illusion of Babylon the Great, the American dream, and all that, that's coming to an end. And women are going to go back into their rightful place in the earth, man, being under their man.
Bookie, stop worrying about that man and what he doing. Is you loved on? Is you taken care of? Let him have his second wife or his second girlfriend. Because, honey, I don't think ain't nothing more in this world make a man happy more than some money and two different bitches pussy and two different bitches head game. Don't shoot the messenger.
And see, other women that's so wrapped around Esau's damn finger, they believe these women are crazy, they stupid, that's not right. And it is right, man, because you're supposed to please the man and not to please yourself. See, in Babylon the Great, they tell you happy life, happy wife, all these sayings to please the woman, because Esau worships women, man. He has a weak mindset on women. That's why they always throw up this. DT always throw it up when he throws his sign of a what you call that the coochie sign. You know, I'm glad I said the coochie sign, but you know when he put his hands together and make a what you call that sign? Damn. See if I can throw that sign up. I mean, throw that sign up. I'm gonna see if I can find that sign that they throw up. It's a hand gesture they use, man. And this is all worship, man, of women. Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can put it up on my phone while I play this video. See what that sign is called again. But the earth is switching to that mindset of being in a multiple wife household. Because that's what we're gonna go into the kingdom with the wife household, man. Now check this out. And listen to how the women act when she tells them what she's gonna tell them. I ain't gonna spoil it. Let me play it.
Matt and I have actually been dating.
You sure you was swinging?
Someone else.
I know, girl. Don't tell me that. What you swing? Yes.
But we're not swingers. We're not swingers.
Yeah.
We're not swingers. Matt and I have been dating a woman and
what?
As a sister wife.
Oh hell no! What? I don't get it. I don't know what you're saying to me. I don't know either. What's she saying?
So essentially, Matt has a second. He has a girlfriend or a second wife.
You're signing up to be you and Matt.
Sister wife like a TV.
You and Matt are married. You got
yes. Yes.
You and Matt are married. Thank you. You and Matt got married. How long have you been married?
Since 2019.
Okay. How you sign up to be a side chick? You're married. You're okay with being a married side chick?
I know you love him, but you know what?
I can promise you his ain't that good. He don't even got that much money.
It was actually my idea.
Help us, Jesus.
Why?
It doesn't have anything to do with sex. It's not fueled by sex.
Not for you. Why? Why did you bring it up though? Why?
Because I want the relationship. I want the relationship dynamic, the friendship, the
With the man
camaraderie.
or the girl?
No, with the other girl.
You want to find,
No.
so you're going to find a side chick for Matt?
No,
Because
no,
you're the side chick.
no.
I don't know how she got to this point where she thinks it's okay to find a replacement for herself, because that's what it is. I love Matt. I love my son-in-law, but I just don't think he's worth any of this.
See, they can't wrap their head around that Western mindset being broken. They can't wrap their minds around it. Them having to be a second wife or second to any woman. Now the hand sign I was referring to is what DT and them always throw up, and it's, let me see what this is what it's called, a sacred yoga hand symbol. Let me see what it's called. Let me see if I can pronounce it.
Yoni Mudra.
Yoni Mudra. And it's all kind of hand symbols. That's not. It says a womb gesture. That's what it is. A womb gesture when they throw up those hand symbols, and they got a bunch of them on here. This is what it is right here. The hand gesture. The hand gesture. This is what these DT always throw up. What does yan symbolize? Female genitalia. That's what it symbolizes. But it also encompasses other meanings such as womb, origin, and source. So this is what they're throwing up. Means vagina and other organs regarded as a divine symbol of sexual pleasure, the matrix of generation, and the visible form of Shakita.
Shakti.
Shati. What's Shati? See, this is all demonic worship, man. It says the female principle of divine energy, especially when personified as a supreme deity. See, you see it. You see these demonic demons these deities, and I know these are deities. I ain't gonna go into that, man, because I got these other videos I want to play, but you get the point. They have that feminine energy that they put out there, and that's Esau, man. Now, I'll play this video as well. As you see, side chick makes marriages last longer. And I mean, men understand this. And women won't understand this because they feel like they got to be equal. And that's what Esau teaches, that we should put equal. That feminist movement that made women want to be equal to a man and not under a man. Now check this out.
Behind every long-lasting marriage was a side chick or mistress keeping it together. Okay, a lot of y'all that's been in these 10-year, 15-year, 20-plus year marriages, you should be congratulating your marriage lasting so long, and you should be giving accolades to the side chick and the mistress, because she's the reason why these marriages are lasting so long. I'm just gonna fucking say the quiet part out loud, because the thing about it is that men are not going to put themselves in a predicament where they are 1000% suffering and they don't use anything to take the edge off. This is why men tend to have more addictions as opposed to women. They will gamble, they will use drugs, they will resort to alcoholism, they will resort to, being addicted to schmecks. They have to have something to take the edge off from what they're not getting in the marriage. And so to be able to withstand the marriage, they will take the edge off with another woman. And when the wife is taking the brunt of everything at home, the mistress side chick is going to be the one there to take the load off of him, because
I'm sorry. Most of the time, women are like, okay, your worth and stuff like that. Okay, to be quite honest, a lot of the time when these women are the mistresses and the side chick, they're seeing the best of your husband. Okay, you're seeing the worst of your husband because he's taking it out on you that he's even in this situation with you. That by the time he gets to the mistress and the side chick, he is going to be happy and joyous because he's like, I don't have to see her every day. I don't have to really care about showing up in the way that I need to show up for because I'm only seeing her for a small amount of time. So that's the reason why these situations last so long, because the mistress and the side chick is getting the best of him. And then not to mention, the mistress and the side chick doesn't have to put in all of this fucking labor. The mistress, she isn't getting exhausted from having to constantly hear about all of his issues, having to cook, having to clean, having to go 50-50, having to worry about taking care of his children and keeping their family together, having to worry about maintaining and upholding this image to make sure that their marriage looks together. No, mistresses are keeping these marriages alive and strong because these women are making it easier for these men to be living a life that they really can't stand fucking living because they really don't want to be married. They don't want to do what's required and actually uphold the duty of marriage. They need something to be fun on the side in order.
And she went into a whole spiel, man. But she was speaking the truth. And like I said, a lot of people don't understand that because America has taught them the opposite of what was right. Now, mistresses and that's all this second wives, man. And now you have all these single women that men don't want to deal with because the Western mindset has taken away the like the going out and having fun, meeting someone because these women have these outrageous um, uh, demands of a woman. I mean, of a man. They have these outrageous demands. He got to be 6 foot. He got to make 100,000 a year, 200,000 a year. He got to have a Mercedes. All this wild shit. And now to the point the man don't even want to approach these women, man. No matter how they look. Because a woman they go get these BBLs and they get likes and shit like that. But a man, these men do not want to be with them as their husbands. They just want to have fun with them and go home, man. Now check this out, man. This real quick.
Men don't come up to you. Not even. Nobody comes up to you in the club. Nobody comes up to you in the club. They be scary as fuck, and I don't understand why.
See, she didn't get the memo. Men are tired of wasting their time on women that's with no results. Like I said, I posted a video, and women won't even call you back. They won't even text you. If you go out to eat, you can't take them to no regular restaurant. They want to go to Roof Crisp and all these fancy 5-star restaurants, and Applebee's and Chili's and shit like that is not good enough. So it's turning the men off, or even being attracted to these women, man. Not because of their looks, it's because of their attitudes and their mindset. Now, IUIC has been pushing one woman households, man, which we know in the ancient world, it was many men of the Lord had multiple wives. And we're going to have multiple wives here on this side going into the kingdom. Now, check this out. Let me play it back.
I believe in having multiple. You guys Jehovah's Witness?
No. We're Israelites.
Oh, y'all believe in having multiple wives and stuff because
No. Watch it. Just because multiple wives that's not biblical.
Well, some women are living in these rooms. And this right here, New Haven, I'm just wondering. I'm no judgment.
It is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, lest any man have his own wife,
Have his what?
own wife, and let every woman have her own husband.
So if you got your own husband, can he have another wife?
I mean, I say no, but
The Bible say no as well. So what that person is doing that you know, he's
what
false.
scripture is that?
1 Corinthians 7, chapter 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 1 through 2.
Okay, I got that in my mind.
Now, see, they push this doctrine to please women. Just like, no different from Esau. He aims to please women and not please Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Now, First Corinthians, what was this? First Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 7, it's a reason why Apostle Paul was telling them this, what he said, of having one wife or having one husband. It wasn't to say you can't have more than one wife. It was just telling you you're going to basically be obligated to one person because of because of the sexual. It's going to say it's sexual immorality. This is in the NLT, but it's not saying, he wasn't saying don't have more than one woman, because a woman can't have multiple men. That's committing adultery, and a man only can deal with a woman if she's single. If he deals with another man's wife, that's adultery. And this is what Apostle Paul was saying, because basically Corinth is also a city in Greece. And Apostle Paul, I'm going to get this in NLT so it make it even plain for somebody hearing this for the first time. It says, now regarding the question you asked in your letter, yes, it is good to abstain from sexual relations, but because there is so much sexual immortality. See that? Had a lot of sexual immortality. So it was a lot of cheating, what they would call cheating in our day. It'd also be committing adultery. That's what was happening. He said each man should have his own wife and each wife should have her own husband, meaning that a man shouldn't commit adultery. What they would say in this day and time, cheating. And a woman should have her own husband, meaning when we're going to get some other scriptures to precept with this, because it's not saying that you can't. Apostle Paul was not saying don't have multiple wives. He was just saying be with one. That woman should be with one man, and that man should deal with no other woman if she's with someone else. Because you got to look at the time frame, and the reason why Apostle Paul was basically writing it the way he was writing it, because of the people at that time. Just like now, if you wrote it now, it wouldn't line up right away with, unless somebody that right away with the ancient world, and until you get into it and break it down, man. Let me continue on so it makes sense. It says the husband should fulfill his wife's sexual needs, and the wife should fulfill her husband's needs. It says the wife gives authority over her body to her husband, and the husband gives authority over his body to his wife. It says, do not deprive each other with sexual relations. And see, that's what was going on, was a lot of sexual, I would say a lot of sexual, it was a lot of cheating going on, in other words. It wasn't, people was committing a lot of adultery at that time in the city of Corinth. So this is what he was saying to the church of Corinth about abstaining from having the woman being to that man and the man being to that woman. And let me continue on. It says, do not deprive each other from sexual relations unless you both agree to refrain from sexual intimacy. It says, for a limited time, so you can give yourselves more completely to prayer. Afterward, you should come together again so that Satan won't be able to tempt you because of your lack of self-control. And see that people was dealing with other people. They didn't have self-control. And this is what Apostle Paul was breaking down to them. So, you know what I'm saying, when IUIC pulled the scripture, they're not giving the full understanding of the scripture. They just pull it, oh, you can't have no more one wife. Yes, other men, like a different offices in this truth, being a bishops, deacons, you only can have one wife, but that's not all the Israelites. And see, this is what they do to manipulate women and think, oh, a man can only be with one woman, or women, you know what I'm saying, women can only be with one man, which that's true. A woman can only be with one man. She can't be with she can't hop around like they do in this time. So just like if Apostle Paul was here now writing the same scriptures, he'd be talking about the same thing they're doing now, because there's a lot of sexual immorality here. Because of, you got porn, you got all this, the lustful dress, the way that people dress, the way you go to the club and you can mingle with people and go to job and somebody has a job husband, all that madness. This is the same exact thing he will be writing this day and time, man. Because our people there's no self-control here, man. Continuing on, verse 6, it says, I say this as a concession, not as a command. See that he wasn't commanding you to do. He said it as a concession, telling this is what you should do. You should refrain from not being over your body, man, over your self control, man. This is not a command. It says, but I wish everyone were single, just as I am. Yet each person has a special gift of power and one kind or another. See that? So the Lord, so Apostle Paul is telling you, you wish you were single so you can devote more of your time to the Lord, man. Instead of trying to, get out here and basically run the streets, as they would say in this day and time. Same exact thing that was happening in Corinth. They had a lot of sexual appetite. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of shit was going on back then. And this is just the simple understanding of this, man. Verse 8, it says, so I say to those who aren't married and to widows, it's better to stay unmarried, just as I am. It says, but if they can't control themselves, they should go ahead and marry. And marriage is sex. So if you wasn't going to be able to hold your control over your sexual needs, the Apostle Paul is saying go and get married. That means go ahead and take yourself a wife, or a woman, take yourself a man and stay with that man. It says it's better to marry than to burn with lust. See that? A lot of lust going on, man. And I hope I'm making this plain for somebody that, I'm just hearing this for the first time. Because it's meant for us to have women, but it's set up in order for a man to be that could have more than one wife, but a woman can only have one husband. And that's how it's going to be in the kingdom of heaven. This is Proverbs 18 and 22. It says, whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So it's nothing wrong with having a wife, being married. Apostle Paul wasn't saying that. It's a good thing to be married. But he was saying that the your sexual needs, it needs to be towards your husband, and a husband has to be towards his wife. Because it's in the law that if you was to take another, well, I'm going to get it. And this is what Moses told the children of Israel. This is Exodus 21. And it's basically going into, being sold into the household. But I just want to hit the point. If you go up, start up at verse 7, it goes into being sold into a household. But I'm going to hit the point. In verse 10, it says, if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. And if he do not these three with her, then shall she go out free without money. So if you take another wife, you have to take care of her. Let me get this in the NLT. So you just can't, if you got another wife, you can't stop doing what you're doing for your first wife and do it for your second wife because you like her better. This is Exodus 21:10 in NLT. It says, if a man who has married a slave wife takes another wife for himself, he must not neglect the rights of the first wife to food, clothing, and sexual intimacy. So you got to continue to doing what you're doing. Like if you get another wife, you got to do everything you did with your first wife. You can't stop doing what you was doing with your first wife and just do it to your second wife. You have to treat them both as equal. Verse 11, it says, if he fails in any of these three obligations, she may leave as a free woman without making any payment. So if a man neglects to do this, if he takes on another wife or a third wife, he has to also treat them all the same. And this is the reason why the Lord set it up like this, man. Because you just can't, I'm through with her. I ain't dealing with her no more. No, man. Because what you would do is make her go and commit adultery if she finds another man. And you see, and that's why Apostle Paul was going into that in the church with the church of Corinth. Because if you neglect these women and they go find another man, you're going to make her commit adultery because she is your wife. This is Mark 10, and starting at verse 3, it says, Mark 10 and verse 3, It says, and he answered. You can go back up to. Well, let me see. Let me see. Let me go to verse 2. It says, and the Pharisees came to him and asked him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife? Tempting him. This is talking about. This is Yahweh Shah speaking. It says, and he answered and said unto them, what did Moses command you? See that? What did Moses command you? And we just read what Moses commanded us in the Exodus. It says, and he said Moses suffered to write a bill of divorcement and to put her away. And Yahweh Shah answered and said unto them, for the hardness of your heart, he wrote you this precept. But from the beginning of the creation of power, made them male and female. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. It says, and they twine shall be one flesh. See that? When they have sex, they become one flesh. So if you have one wife, that becomes one flesh in the eyes of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. So when you have sex with a woman, that's your wife. Y'all become one one flesh. That's why he says a man have one wife and women have one husband. That's because you're coming one flesh in the eyes of the Lord. Verse 8 again, it says, and they twine shall be one flesh, so then they are one. It's like they are no more twine, they're no more two, but one flesh. See that? They're no more separated, they became one flesh. This is how Shah speaking, man. It says, but it's like a not but it says, what therefore power have joined together, let no man put asunder. See that? What the Lord put together, let no man break it. Don't let nobody separate it. So it becomes one flesh. So if another man sleeps with your wife, he committed adultery. And that's what Yahweh Shah was speaking about, man. Verse 10, it says, and in the house of his disciples asked him after the same matter. So he just they wanted a clear understanding of what he broke down to the Pharisees. Verse 11, it says, and he said unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committeth adultery against her. Because they're going to make her go and commit adultery. That's what Yahweh Shah was saying. So if you put this woman away, she's going to go out and sleep with another man, therefore making her commit adultery. Verse 12, it says, and if a woman shall put away her husband and marry another, she committeth adultery. See that? So if a woman breaks up with you and say, I don't want to deal with you no more, and she goes and deals with another man, she committed adultery. See, this should be a clear understanding of what committing adultery is. A woman goes sleep with another man, she commits adultery. But if you put her away and she goes and commit adultery, was sleeping with another man. That's why the Lord set it up for us to have our own wives. So if I deal with a woman, no other man could deal with her. She's just mine. She's my possession. It tells you that. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Man, get a possession. No, I ain't spell it. There you go. I know I spelled it wrong. Possess. See if I know I was wrong. I spelled it wrong. There you go. But this is Ecclesiastes Sirach 36 and 24. It says, he that getteth a wife begetteth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. See? And a pillar of rest. See, when you get a wife, that's your possession. No one can deal with her but you. That's why the Lord was telling you, if you put her away, you're going to make her commit adultery. And if she put a man away, she's going to go and commit adultery. So that the understanding that we have is that a man can have multiple wives, but he can't deal with another man's wife. She had to be single for you to deal with it. You just can't deal with it just because, well, I'm going to deal with it because I think she ain't got nobody else. This is 1 Corinthians 14 and verse, let's hit the point in verse 3. No, let me hit 2. It says, and David perceived that Yahweh Shem Yahushua had committed him king over Israel, for his kingdom was lifted up on high because of his people Israel. And David took more wives at Jerusalem. See that? David took more wives at Jerusalem, and David begot more sons and daughters. So if the Lord gave him the kingdom to make him king over Israel, why are you going to say you can't have more than one wife? Why you didn't tell him that? No, that's why we know that this truth is only given to those that believe and have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua to get the clear understanding of what the Lord set this thing up to be, man. The correct doctrine. Because David was a man of his own, of Yahweh Shem Yahushua's own heart. So why he let him get more than one wife? Why he didn't stop him there? King Solomon, his King David's son, and he had more than one wife. This is Deuteronomy 21 and verse 15. It says, if a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be when he maketh his son to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated. And that goes into, you know what I'm saying, that you can't, even though if you have a one wife and you choose another wife, and you can't put that one over the woman you don't want to be with no more, or the one hated. We got a clear example of our forefather Jacob wanting to be with I know Leah is the one was hated, and was it Rebecca? There's so much information, man. Sometimes it slips my mind. Rachel, man, you gotta look it up. Rachel and Rebecca, they were sisters. So you can't put one son over the one. You have to treat both of them the same. Ending of verse 16, it says, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. So you can't put him or put the one woman you love the most over the woman that you had first, or vice versa. It says, but he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn by giving him a double portion of all that he hath. For he is the beginning of his strength, and the right to the firstborn is his. So you can't even though you have multiple wives, you can't make one son better than the other, or vice versa, children better than the other. You got to keep everybody even, man. Everybody got to be the same in your spirit, man. You got to treat everyone the same. But back to David, man. So the Lord gave him women, even taking the kingdom from Saul. This is 2 Samuel 5 and 13. It says, 12, it says, and David perceived that Yahweh Shem Yahushua had established him king over Israel. See, that the Lord has established him king over Israel, and that he had exalted his kingdom for his people Israel's sake. And David took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem after he was come from Hebron. And there were yet sons and daughters born of David. See that? He took on more sons and daughters and concubines. So the Lord is not, well, I don't want you to have number one wife. I don't want you to deal with no other women. No, man, that's Esau shit. And that goes to show you that Esau has his hands wrapped around these Israelite groups, especially IUIC, man. Genesis and all the other ones. But we know that the Lord is dealing with men to have more than one wife, because it was meant for us to be fruitful and multiply. You can't multiply fast with one woman. And that's why that's how the kingdom of heaven is going to be brought back, man, with multiple wives. This is 2 2 Samuel 12, in verse 7, it says, and Nathanael said to David, thou art the man, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, power of Israel, I anointed thee king over Israel. See that the Lord has anointed him king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul, and I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives. See that when someone dies, the woman is separated from her husband. She can marry again. That means she can deal with another man. And this is why the Lord gave him his master's house. Again, it says, and I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such things. So the Lord said, I would have gave you more. So the Lord blessed David with multiple wives. So if that's the case, how can someone come against what the Lord has set up, man? We just read what the Lord put together. No man can break it. No man can take it apart. This is what the Lord did, man. The Lord gave him his wives. He anointed him. And David was a man of the Lord's heart, man. And we are the household of David being rebuilt. Lord willing, I'm a part of the number, man. This is a household of David, man, being rebuilt. This is Isaiah 4 and verse 1. It says, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name. See that? Basically being your wife. Let us be called under your name. Let us take that protection that you have over us as being yours, to take away our reproach. And see, the Lord is going to give us women. Just like he said to David, that wasn't enough, I will give you more. And see, the Lord is going to, in these end days, man, these end times, the Lord is going to lead women to the man of the Lord, man, the elect, for them to be saved. The scripture tell you they'll be saved in childbearing, man. Verse 2, it says, and in that day shall the branch of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy. See that? Would it be called holy, man? This is going into the kingdom of heaven. It says, even everyone that is written among the living in Jerusalem, man, found in the book of life. It says, when Yahweh Bashem Yahushua shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion. See that? When our sins are purged, and shall have purged, and have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof, by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. And Yahweh Bashem Yahushua will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion and upon her assemblies a cloud and smoke by day, and the shining of a flame of fire by night. Upon all the glory shall be a defense, and there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, and for a place of refuge, and for a covert from the storm and from rain. See that protection of what's coming, man. And that's what the Lord is going to put on the hopeful elect, man. So Lord, widows edifying. Shalom. Shalom.